to Stacy So and So. So this week I am working on multiple projects, but I wanted to show you the one I'm working on right now. I've decided to make a boho style skirt, patchwork boho style skirt. I had cut the top off of another skirt. It was actually something that I had bought at Old Navy where you could wear it as a sundress, like a strapless sundress, or you could wear it as a skirt. And I'd cut the bottom half off and used it on another upcycle project. So what I want to do is I want to use that as the top and cut out loads and loads of patches. I have no idea. I've not sat down and done the math yet. I don't know how many I am going to need, how many patches of fabric I'm going to need in order to complete this, but I'm feeling like I'm just going to document the process. I'm just going to wing it. So let me show you where I am right now in the project and what I still yet have to do. It's just going to be kind of a step-by-step, but hopefully it will be something that will help inspire you to look at all of the extra fabric that you maybe have laying around, extra scrap fabric, and go, ooh, I can do that. So the first thing I did was I went through my bins of fabric and started pulling out colors that I like to kind of coordinate together. So this particular skirt is going to have lots of greens, yellows, some orange, and some blue in it. So I took my fabric and I grabbed my 6x6 inch measuring tool and started cutting out loads and loads of squares. I'm not sure I have enough. I think I might, but if not, I still have extra fabric that if I need to cut out more squares, I can. So step number one, cut lots and lots and lots of squares. So now that I have an entire row done, I'm going to be top stitching each of the patches. So that way it'll look really nice when I attach it to the skirt. And it'll keep the fraying to a minimum. So then I turn it around, lift my needle, and I just pull it over. I'm trying to get better about not pulling thread everywhere because I feel like I'm so wasteful. So one down. And 11 more on this row to go. So we've got the first 2 rows of patchwork onto the skirt. Again, I haven't decided just how many rows I'm going to put on, but I did decide to with the top, because this part is not gathered, this top piece. This, from the waist, this kind of comes and curves around your hip, but so I went ahead and put some orange rickrack on here. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that on every row or not, so we'll kind of play around with that. The other thing I went ahead and did, since I have all of my squares cut out, I went ahead and put them in piles. So we have pile for 14, 16, and 18. And that way I can just keep myself organized. The row of 12 is actually on my machine as we speak. So I try to keep those in order. And what I'm doing, as you just saw, is, you know, once I get all of these sewn together, each of these squares is then top stitched. And then I am running a very narrow hem across the top and the bottom, because again, we want to really cut back on the fraying because we want someone to be able to wear this and, you know, wash and wear as many times as possible. So now that my power is all back on, I am now continuing the process of completing the patchwork skirt. Now, if you saw my last video, you know that someone had reached out to me. They'd see me making, you know, working on a live, and they've decided that they want to purchase it. So now it's kind of becoming a custom piece. So I'm kind of basing the length off of what they want. So what I've been doing in order to save my fingers and my hands is I've been using my shearing foot that I got from Madame Sew. Well, actually, I didn't. Someone got it for me for Christmas. They got me a whole box of them. Is it right there? I love them. So I've got 2 of the rows done. I'm getting ready to start a 3rd row. I may or may not end up adding another. I'm not sure. But the one thing I had always intended to do was to add a row of white lace across the bottom. And so this is some lace that I rescued off of it was a pillow sham, and I have loads of it. So I just need to also gather this back up, and that will be the bottom row, which I think will look really good because you have the white part of the skirt that I had used from another upcycle project, which also has some white lace on it. And I think this will really help balance it out. So I am getting ready to get started on gathering up my last row of patchwork, and then we'll move on to the lace. It is really tough getting over some of these seams. With ruffler foot, I have to just kind of give it a little extra help. But other than that, it's going smoothly. There we go. So we're doing pretty good. I have all of the ruffle layers on that I've made so far, and I've measured it off. And with her height, this is going to be the perfect length. Actually, it does allow for room for the lace that I'll be adding at the bottom, which is 4.5 inches minus seam allowance. So I think we're doing good. Here it is all completed. Very happy with the way it turned out. So glad I added the lace to the bottom. It just really adds that little extra. Let me get you a full view. And there you go. So I know this video was a bit longer in the making than most, but I appreciate your patience with all of our power outages and everything because of the storm. I hope you enjoyed this week's video and that you feel inspired to use all of your scrap fabric to maybe make a patchwork skirt or shirt for yourself. It's just such a great way to use up those extra scraps, and it always ends up being so beautiful. So thank you again for joining me. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will see you next time, and happy sewing.